What we see here is the Gra arrangement of the Tree of Life diagram. Now, the Tree of Life is called that nowadays. It was this same diagram represented what had been called the Tree of Knowledge in Eden before we were exiled,
Mhm.
and it had been the forbidden fruit. It had been the plant that was forbidden to us to eat from, and then we ate from it and gained knowledge about right and wrong in hindsight, because then we realized that we had done something wrong, which we had never done before. And so then we came to understand the difference between right and wrong and good and evil. After the exile, this was given to us exclusively to eat, and the tree of immortality, the original tree of life, was removed and placed in Eden, beyond our reach, guarded by an angel with a flaming sword. So the modern tree of life diagram is actually a tree of knowledge diagram in Eden. And this is the Gra version of the tree of life diagram. So the original tree of life that we looked at, the Boda Builders of the Adytum Naples arrangement that we looked at first, that's the modern, more popular arrangement. It's based on what's called the RE version of the arrangement of the Sephiroth into the Tree of Life diagram. The RE version was given by Isaac Luria, uh, the blind prophet, and there's some speculation that he may have done uh, this to obfuscate the actual shape of the Kabbalah
Mhm.
and to hide it from competitive Sabbateans and other sects of Messianic Hebrews at the time. Um, so the Gra version came later. It was attributed to the Vilna Gaon, I believe, who was in the 1500s, I think. But in any event, perhaps 1400s, but in any event, the Gra version is technically chronologically a later version of the Tree of Life diagram, but I speculate it may be closer to an approximation of the original truer form of or the truest form of the diagram, its original intention. So here the Gra diagram of the Tree of Life is depicted. On the left, you can see on the paths are attributed the signs of the zodiac and the planets and the elements of the phases of matter, salt, sulfur, and mercury, along the linear paths. Along in the Sephiroth themselves, in the vertex circles, there's the English names, the translations of the Hebrew names of the Sephiroth into English phonetic sounds, and under that, the translations of the meanings of these terms into English terms. So, for example, you would have Tifereth is beauty, Chesed is Mercury, Gevra is courage,
Right.
Yesod foundation, and all of that. In the middle one, there's Hebrew letters as opposed to English letters for the phonetic pronunciations of the Sephirotic names, and Hebrew letters for the names of the paths, or the signs of the paths. So instead of Aquarius, you would have, uh, what would that be? Heh. Yes.
Right.
And then instead of Leo, Kaf. Instead of Virgo, you would have Yod, and instead of Gemini, you would have Kaf, and so forth, or Quaff. And then in the middle diagram here also, it starts introducing the gematria letter number equivalencies for the Sephiroth themselves. So Tiferet in Hebrew adds up to the gematria sum 1081, 1081. Uh, Chesed, Mercy adds up to 72. Gevra, Courage adds up to 216, and so forth. And then in the final diagram on the far right, these numbers have been broken down further into their um, greatest common factors and least common denominators in terms of prime numbers that can't be divided any further and numbers that can be expressed as exponents. So 72, for example, the number of Chesed, the gematria of Chesed, mercy, is 2 to the third times 3 to the second. Um, those are the essentially the lowest common denominators and greatest common factors that can be extracted from 72. Then the gematria sums are given for the Hebrew letters and signs of the zodiac and seven planets, etc. So, for example, instead of Leo, there would be, or Teth, it would be 9. Instead of Virgo or Yod, it would be 10, and etc. Um, and that's basically a collection of the Gra diagrams that I've worked with myself over the last several years since about 2004, um, trying to assign the right attributes to the right locations on the diagram. Finally, I've come up with using the 12 zodiac signs as the 12 diagonals.
Mm.
The three elemental phases of matter as the three horizontals, and then the seven planets as seven of the eight possible um, vertical lines.